Test, 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 test. Okay. Alright, what's up, y'all? This is gonna be a weekly trade recap from the first week of what is this? I want to say July. It's not July. The first week of November. Um, just going over the trades I took, trades I could have taken, things I need to work on, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I just recorded this video, but it was pretty ass, so I'm gonna just do it again. But before I go over it, a little bit on my model. I do trade a, I kind of trade a variation of the orb, and I primarily trade like ICT, like some ICT concepts. But when I was learning ICT concepts, I had a hard time with just with the different models. Like it didn't make sense to me as like a brand new beginner. So I started trading the orb. I had a little bit of success with that. Wasn't very consistent, just like buying every breakout, selling every breakout. It's like it wasn't very consistent. But when I put the two together, I did find some consistency. So that's just what I've been sticking with. Um, so yeah, let's go over it. Oh, also, let me turn this on. This is a orb indicator I made. It's not like straight up buy sell signals. They can be if you're just gonna trade the orb if you don't want extra context. But it really just indicates high volume breakouts and high volume retests, and you can customize I'll show you this really quick. You can customize like the volume multiplier you want, how many signals you want, the retest tolerance. This isn't even available. Like I don't have like the pro subscription to publish it, but yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. I made it, but but to my trade on Monday, this is on M2K. Really quick, 1R trade. There wasn't much else going on that day. We had a like pretty good open. It's almost the same as on ES. Another quick note: I trade just US indexes. A lot of people just trade ES and NQ. I don't really like trading NQ. I trade ES and M2K, and uh, yeah, I'll talk about more like about correlation and divergence and stuff in another video. Really quick, this is another indicator I made. Not really an indicator, more of like a chart to track divergences between the four major indexes. But this is just really on my entries, so let's get to that. I took this one. This was a pretty clean entry, or just a pretty clean setup, regardless of what model you trade. Um, Trading out of this higher time frame fair value gap, we create this 5-minute fair value gap on the open, respect the 5-minute breakout to the downside. I could have entered up here at this 5-minute inversion just for a better risk to reward. Enter here, maybe break even at the opening range if I think there's going to be like some type of resistance there, then target lower. That would have been a better version of the trade I took, but I waited for the breakout and then entered. I think I entered on like a 3-minute breakout. Let's see. What's this? Yes, I entered on a 3-minute breakout. I don't remember exactly. Knowing me, I probably had like a sell limit or sell stop or whatever in this candle. So if it pulled back, it would tag me in. If that's usually what I do if I'm entering before a close, because I don't like to market order on the close or before the close. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm waiting for the close, I'll look for like a small pullback, like not like a retrace or a retest, literally like a few ticks, just like that. Super quick 1R. Like I said, there wasn't really another trade to take on Monday. I could have taken this long, but I didn't. As soon as I hit 1R in this trade, I logged out and walked. Cause I used to do bad on Mondays. So if I can get a quick win on a Monday, I'll take it. And move on straight to Tuesday. Um, very similar play. Um, on this one, I don't take the initial breakout, even though um, we did have like all the volume confirmation in the world. Um, I just didn't have like there was no inversion, no pullback, no nothing. Kind of just ripped off the open. So unless you longed the like if you just longed the open on Tuesday, you would have made bank. But I kind of just let that play out, and then when we pulled back into the opening range and into this, I think it was a 5 minute. Yeah, pulled back into this 5 minute. I entered. Um, I usually look for a retest of like the opening range high, or if we have like a significant like 5, 15, or 3 minute PD array up here. 3 minute at the lowest, really a 5 or 15 minute PD array at the high or in the opening range. I usually go for the high, like I look for the retest of the high or the PD array at the high, but I could look for this pullback, and that would just be like a much better risk to reward. Sometimes I'll look for this, but we didn't really like fail this level. We just wicked through it. So I wasn't in the moment, like you don't see all of I don't see all of this, you know. So when I see the pullback to the opening range, well, okay, this is probably where we're gonna reverse from. Still ended up playing out, still a good trade, but I could have gotten a better risk to reward if I look for that pullback into this first fair value gap. Yeah, and again, I could have let this win. That's like my biggest problem. Um, I should be targeting like a minimum of like 2R or like at least a 1.5. But I'm still I'm targeting higher. Like this was probably my draw. Obviously we didn't trade that high, but if I'm going long, I'm probably looking to go all the way up here. What I'll do is like I'll put my TP almost at like I don't want to say unrealistic level, but like I'll put my TP at like 3-4R. But I trail my stop so aggressively that like I'm usually stopping in profit or stop like I stop or I trail my stop to break even, then I'll trail it to 1R, and I'm usually getting stopped at 1R before we're hitting my TP. So either I need to like trail my stop differently or maybe take partials. I don't know, but I like to trail my stop just to like cover myself because I don't want to. I like to trail my stop to cover myself because I don't want to win the flip to a loss. Um, yeah, that was the trade I took on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I don't think I think I traded MES on Wednesday. Let me double check. Okay, so yeah, I traded MES on the 5th. But this is just a really good example of like this is just like a beautiful like a really good play right here. The if you're patient enough to wait through this chop, like through straight to the straight to my draw. I always, even if it's not like where my take profit is, like if I'm going long here, my target is going to be just the next 4 hour or 1 hour fair value gap. Like if I was going to short here, I would have just shorted to this fair value gap. This is just a really good example of like the breakout, retest and breakout, and not just like the orb break and retest, but the breakout, pull back into a PD array and breakout. But let me go to MES and show that one. Like I said, I watch all 4 of the major U.S. indexes. I usually only trade ES and RTY or M2K. M2K is just mini RTY. Let's see, it's the 6th. Yeah, here we go. So on the 5 minute, this kind of looks like a shit setup compared to the last one. But if we go down to the 3, what day was that? What the hell? No. Yeah, on the 3 minute, I was actually like excited when I saw this because um, I thought I was gonna miss the move, like the way this just broke out like one big ass candle. I was like, well, damn, where's my trade? I was thinking I was gonna have to wait for a pullback or something, because I just wanted some type of extra confirmation other than the breakout. Because like I said, I have or I don't know if I said this in the first recorder, if I said this in this one. I used to just like purely trade the orb. Like I would just take the breakout, I would just buy every breakout, sell every breakout, and I was getting cooked doing that. Like I wasn't straight getting cooked. It just was like super inconsistent. So now I'm always looking for some type of other confirmation, whether it be a inversion or honestly a plus would be. Let me just draw this out really quick. Let's say this is like a 4 hour a 4 hour bullish fair value gap or something, and we have this low time frame fair value gap resting above it. If we trade into a higher time frame, break out of the opening range, inversing a lower time frame, that's my A plus. Or even if we don't break out, if this happens, if the same setup happens, if we have like a big ass opening range, which happens sometimes, um, I'll take the inversion out of the 4 hour or 1 hour fair value gap in the opening range. But like this would be like an example of this would be an example of like my A plus setup. But what actually happened was just the breakout with a 3 minute inversion, and I enter on, like I said, look for just the smallest pullback after a candle close. Sometimes it will run without you, and if it does, well, I should have just entered there. But usually you'll get that like couple of ticks of pullback, and then again I got stopped at 1R. Could have targeted all the way up here. Like I said, I don't want to do like too much coulda, shoulda, woulda, but that is my main problem, just not letting my winners win enough. You know, like this could have been a fast like 2.28, or even if I hold, which this isn't even like a crazy amount of time to hold. What time is this? Yeah, this is still within my session. I only like to trade 8:30 to 11:30 Texas time. So this definitely, like, I could have done this, but trailed my stop aggressive and got stopped at 1R, which I'm fine with that. I was done trading in, what time is this? Not even 30 minutes, like a 27-minute day, so I'll take that. I think the rest of my trades were back on M2K. So let's go back. Okay, here we go. So on Thursday, like you guys can see, it's like it's the same trade like every day, and like that's how it should be. Like once you find a model that works or a system that works for you, the only thing you have to work on is just like getting yourself out of the way. Like right now, my main problem is I'm not letting my winners win enough. You know, like I'm finding good moves. My model works. You know, I just need to let my winners win. You know, this is a good example of like so, sometimes I wouldn't take this trade even though it's a good setup. So let me show you why. Because it was really only it was a good setup on the 1 minute, but if I'm taking a 1 minute setup, I want to see like three things happen. So this is a like perfect example of that. Like usually I'll ignore the 1 minute, or I won't ignore it, I'll still look at the 1 minute, but my primary time frame is the 3 and the 5. But um when you looked at the, let me go back again. When you look at like the 3 or the 5 minute, you just get like this barcode right here. Like that's just a little bit of sideways movement, and I'm like, that's nothing for me to really read, you know. So when I need to, I'll go to the 5 minute. I'll go to the 1 minute just for the info. And this is like a perfect example of that. So on the 3 minute and the 5 minute, it looked like nothing, or we just going sideways, you know. But when you go down, we see, okay, we got a bullish fair value gap. We reject off of the midpoint of the opening range, create a bearish fair value gap, invert the bullish fair value gap, and break the opening range. Okay, boom, like that's perfect. Like that's all I need to see. Then I can enter. On this, I was pretty hesitant to target any higher, so I'm not mad at the 1R on this one, just because I'm trading into a higher time frame fair value gap. Let's find that really quick. Yeah, here we're trading into. I'm on the 1 hour, but this is a 4 hour fair value gap, so I'm gonna be hesitant to take a short into a higher time frame PD array, you know, because I'm expecting price to reverse out of that, which it did. It wasn't a strong reversal, but it did. It would have been enough to almost stop me out. So I just cut it off here. This would have been a perfect second trade. The pull back into. Actually, we really didn't pull back into anything significant. Let's see on the 15. Is this Thursday? No, it's the wrong day. I'm tripping. Okay, so it looks like a really good second trade, and it is. It played out, but in the moment, I would have probably wanted more confirmation. And I already won my first trade, so I probably wasn't even watching this. But, or you know what? This is it right here. This breakout and then this 3 minute inversion. So this would have been a super valid second trade for me to take. I maybe would have taken it, maybe not, just because we're in this 4 hour fair value gap, and it starting to. When you only see this, you know, I'm not gonna bet on an imbalance right here getting inverted all the way off of just a 3 minute inversion. Maybe I can, but I'm just not that confident trading inversions yet. But this is a valid setup, so. But this is my trade. Got my win, moved on. And then today was my only red day this week. Took one loss, one break even, and then I caught this on my second account. But we're gonna focus on these two. So the first trade was valid. The second trade was impatient. So the first trade was almost A plus. So like I said, I want to be trading out of a higher time frame PD array. So if on open we like came down, tapped into this, then made this, oh shit. If off the open we came down, tapped into this, and then made this move, that would have been perfect. But we never tapped into this higher time frame PD array, so we don't have like that real reason to push, you know, because we are. You can look at this and say like we're in an overnight downtrend, you know, but also you can look at this and just see this is just like a manipulation leg. I don't know, it just depends how you look at it, like accumulation, manipulation, and this is the real distribution. Oop. But back to the entry. I was looking for this 3 minute inversion. We got the inversion. We got the opening range break. I enter, and then I see this. This was a 15 minute fair value gap. Yeah. So I just use this as my break even point. Not initially. I was thinking we're gonna invert it because I got the 3 minute inversion. We got the breakout. And this was the bottom of what was really just a higher time frame inversion. So I don't need this entire leg to get inverted. So I'm seeing these as like weak. I guess we can call them weak fair value gaps because like they're all stacked, you know. So I'm looking at this as all this. I'm looking at all of this as like one. So I was looking at this entire leg as like one imbalance because like this right here is the 4 hour fair value gap. So I'm seeing this as like the high resistance and thinking I can invert these pretty easily, or thinking price will invert those pretty easily, but they didn't. And when I seen that we were not closing within, or we were barely wicking into this fair value gap, I just went break even, and it was a good call because I would have got stopped out. Like I said, good setup. We got the inversion, got the breakout, just didn't play out fully, and it wasn't a full A plus because we didn't tap into a higher time frame PD array. So not mad at it. This one I'm a little bit mad at, but I'm not at the same time because It was like 4 seconds away from being a valid setup, but you can see it's basically the same setup playing out again. They're just uh, a new gap to inverse. Um, Again, it's not A plus because we never tapped into a lower time frame PD array. I mean, not lower time frame, higher time frame PD array. And I would make an exception if like maybe this happened and we pulled back and I had like a 5 or ideally like a 15 minute that we were trading out of, but that didn't happen. We kind of just chopped on like the top half of the opening range and wicked out 7 times. So I should have seen this as like, okay, we're failing to break out. We're not going to break out. But I looked at it and tried to be optimistic, like, okay, we almost broke out 4 times. Maybe we'll break out on the 5th one or the 6th one or the 7th one, and we did it. And I kind of just not kind of, I did enter on this candle thinking we're gonna invert this 3 minute, and we were. Like if I go to the 1 minute, you'll see. Uh, There we go. It was the last minute of that 3 minute candle. Like we break out, come back in, close inside, fail. So at that point, because like I said, I entered here. At this point, I could have been like, okay, this is an invalid trade. I can close. But I was kind of conflicted because a part of me was like, okay, I can close now, but another part of me was like, oh, don't close out early. Kind of just holding and hoping, disguising it as logic. But I had another opportunity to close here because we got this 1 minute inversion, but I didn't. I just let it run in my stop. um, so yeah, this was just the L trade. This was just like, um, yeah, just the L trade, you know. So just the main things I need to work on from this week were just letting my winners win. Like all of my trades were cut at um, 1R, 1.2R. I should be targeting like a 1.5 to 2R on every trade. Um, and then stuff like this. Like this is just an impatient entry. 1 minute. If I just waited 1 minute longer, I would have been like, okay, this is invalid. Or if I just listened to myself and when I saw that the trade was invalid, and we didn't get that 1 minute, 3 minute. When I saw that the trade wasn't valid when we didn't get the 3 minute inversion, I could have just closed out there, or just closed out when we got the 1 minute inversion. Like I was getting obvious signals that this was invalid, and I just let it run my stop. um, so yeah, this is the only real loss of the week. So I'm not gonna be too mad at it. Uh, very simple error. Just a little bit of impatience, and I would have avoided that. But yeah, that's how this week went. Um, like I said, I ended up catching this short on my second account, and I don't trade the PM session, so I really wouldn't have seen this. But yeah, that's how the week went for me. I'll probably do these. Not probably. I'll try and do these every single week, just showing what trades I took, what I could have taken, and yeah, that's it. I'll probably make a couple of videos on like the indicators I made because these have been very useful for me, and it'll be cool to yap about that, yap about this, and yeah, that's it. Until next week.